Shalom, 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 and welcome back to another episode here, Israelite Talk TV, one of the number one platforms where you don't get no paid media. Okay. Thank you. Now, family, today I'm going to be coming to you guys with a quick update in the Hamas and the Israeli showdown that's taking place over there in the promised land. I know I haven't been on here in like about a week doing updates, but I got some other stuff going on in the background. Also, they've been hating on the channel and stuff like that. I don't know, like it's crazy, right? Like they got these algorithms set up to a point where if you talk about all the negativity and all of this stuff that's going on, they'll give you all type of airtime. You know what I'm saying? When you start to really zero in and speak about the stuff that's really affecting the world and our people, they are quick to tone you down and make sure that that doesn't get out to the people. So make sure that you guys are sharing this information, getting out there to our people, keeping people updated on what's going on. I keep telling you guys that this is one of the most important things that's going on in the earth today. This war. Now, think about this, right? Before this war that took place with Hamas and the Israelis, you have to understand that there's a war that's been going on over there in Europe with Putin, with Russia, and the Ukrainians. I mean, don't get me wrong. People are, they talk about it, but nobody really cares about that war that's going on. Okay. This war that's taking place over in the Middle East is disrupting things on all these different fronts. Okay. And as you see the title on here, okay, the first thing that we're going to talk about, okay, and we're going to get into this real soon. We're going to talk about how there's a bloodbath that's taking place down in Gaza. Okay. The media is attempting to try to make it seem like the Israelis is doing all of this stuff and got all of this stuff going on. But in reality, it's a bloodbath down there. Those Israeli soldiers are getting gunned down there by the Hamas militants. And one of the big things that they're talking about, and they had to talk about it, is that they got ambushed down there. As they were attempting, they basically lured the Israeli soldiers into combat into one of these buildings, and they basically drew down on these Israeli soldiers. So you had soldiers that was going in trying to save these soldiers, and they continued to kept blowing them up. You know what I'm saying? As they was going in there, and they actually scored a big score when they took them out, because they took out a colonel and some more people. We get ready to get into that here in a minute. We also got to talk about how the Israelis also got busted fudging the numbers. They want you to believe like, oh, nothing is going on down here. We're on top of Hamas. But the facts are coming out that they are being gunned down and injured at an alarming rate. And the numbers that the IDF is putting out are not the real numbers. Okay. So we got to get into that. Okay. The other thing that we got to talk about is how the Houthis, the pirates, okay, down there off the coast of Yemen down there, right? They are going in. They have traffic held up over here in this Red Sea, right? And I'm going to break this down point by point and kind of show you guys what's going on. That area that they're controlling down by the Red Sea, everything that's coming out of that man-made Suez Canal, which the Europeans made in order to cut down the time, in order to cut through the Middle East or Africa, however you want to classify it, right? They created this canal, and they basically are using this canal to basically cut back and forth to Europe instead of going all the way around the continent of Africa. So now with the Houthis having that area roped off down there and basically saying anything that's moving through here, it better be going to the Palestinians. If it's not going to Gaza and things like that, we're gonna draw down on you. And they've been going in down there in that area, and it's like it's crazy down there. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Make sure you guys, like I said, are sharing the information, getting this stuff out there. Shalom to everybody that's checking in. Asiatic Soldier, shout out to you. Daniel, shalom. Been a minute since you have given an update. Yeah, sometimes it gets discouraging because, like I said, they play with my numbers all the time. They'll make it seem like it's only 4 people in here. Like right now, it's only 4 people in here. But then when you get off of the video, you'll see all of these people that like the video, all of the people that that's watching the videos, and then all of a sudden they want to try to use this drip down effect, to make it seem like, so sometimes this stuff just get discouraging. And I don't really do this like most of these platforms that just put anything out there just to make money. I'm not in this business. Don't get me wrong. I am here to make money, but I'm not here to just put anything out here on the strip just in order to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's get into this thing, right? Okay. Now the first place that we're going to head to, and let me just reposition that, is Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera be keeping this thing 100, man. I'm rocking with Al Jazeera. Now let's get into this, right? Okay. Now this happened on Tuesday of last week. So like I said, I'm kind of like a week behind, but I want to zero in on this because this is real big.
Israeli army says 10 more soldiers have been killed in the northern Gaza Strip. It says a commander is among those killed during the fighting on Tuesday. Israeli military.
So like I said, there was a colonel that got trapped off in this campaign, and Hamas them trapped him off and ambushed them in this building. They're going to go into this a little bit more. So let's keep going here.
He's saying 115 troops have now died since its ground operation against Hamas started on October 31st. Let's go live now to Alan Fisher in occupied East Jerusalem for us. Alan, what more are we hearing on the deaths of the Israeli soldiers?
That figure of 10 just been updated in the last hour by the Israeli army. We are told that this was an operation in one of the refugee camps in Shijaya, in the northern part of the Gaza Strip. Soldiers were moving into a building which they described as swarming with, quote, terrorists. And as they moved into the building, there was a big explosion.
Now, real quick, family, something I want to zero in on, right? One of the things you're going to always notice about the news is they're going to always say, oh, there was a terrorist in this building. They never say, oh, these were Hamas militants, because they know that a lot of these people that they're killing is just innocent people, that it's not the actual people. But they run into problems with Hamas because if you ever look at a lot of those videos that they have released on a lot of these different channels, you notice that a lot of these Hamas fighters are not in uniform. They're just in regular clothing. This is why you just saw the other day where they killed Israeli hostages that was basically trying to, and Hamas knew they was going to do this. This is why they staged this the way they was, to show the people that these people are indiscriminately killing people. Like, they shook over here. They're shook because they don't know when they go into a crib or building that it's going to be wired up and they going to look out for them over there. So these people are scared to death over there, and they're showing them like these people are supposed to be the best military in the world, this and that. They're just killing anything that's moving. Okay. Grass.
That obviously seriously injured a number of soldiers. A second group went in to rescue those who'd been caught up in that attack, and there was a second explosion. And incredibly, a third group went in to rescue them.
So family, you hear what he's saying? He's letting us know that they trapped them boys off. They basically said, hey, we got militants in here. There was an explosion. So I don't know if the IDF was under the impression that, oh, these were the IDF soldiers taking down the Hamas militants. But at any rate, every time they kept going in there, they had a trap laid for them, and they took out a colonel. You know, this is top tier. So Hamas is not playing down there, right? And even the IDF admitted, like, okay, yeah, it's ugly down there in Gaza. Okay.
The first two groups, and there was a third explosion. It's clear that this was an ambush that was well planned, meticulously carried out. And of course, we're now told that nine soldiers died in that incident, as well as one other elsewhere in Gaza. Now, one of those who died was a colonel. He is the highest ranking soldier to die in the operation. And in fact, this is the second largest loss that Israel has suffered in any one day in the war, in any one incident. 11 people were killed, 11 soldiers were killed in the early days of the war at the end of October when there are.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I do stand to be corrected, this colonel that was killed was the son of a high-ranking Israeli I don't want to say politician, but I believe he's part of the military branch, you know, things of that nature, right? So he was he was the son of a high-ranking, I don't know, politician / army. I believe he's part of the I believe he's part of the whatever that group or crew that they call them in Israel, that's pretty much tending to the the war that's going on. But anyway, they got them up out of here, right? So this is telling you that this stuff is serious down here in Gaza. They're not playing down there. Ever since the ceasefire has happened, it's been ugly in the paint. Okay, let's keep going here.
Armored personnel carrier was struck by a missile. So this is a serious loss. Benny Gantz, who's one of the three members of the war cabinet, former defense minister, has said that at this time Israel,
And I believe it was his son, the guy that he just mentioned right here, that was killed.
is fighting its second war of independence and is taking a heavy, painful and difficult price, and said that every death of every soldier is a scar on the state of Israel.
There's also this report in the U.S. media, Alan, of tunnels in Gaza.
So yeah, family. So we're gonna pause that. You guys can watch this video and keep going. Shout out to Al Jazeera. If you're not subscribed to their channel, go check them out. I believe they're one of the #1 platforms that's pretty much giving us as close to the accurate information that's going down there as possible. And you got to understand that they do have a dog in this fight, because you got to understand that a lot of those news anchors and people like that are Muslims. Okay, so those are their people down there that's being killed. So not only are they seeing their people being killed, but they also got to report on it too. And they're targeting Al Jazeera reporters, man, because they getting this information out here like it's crazy. They've killed I believe it was from Reuters. They killed one of their people. So a lot of these major news networks, even they know that the Israelis, the same people that they're trying to defend, is dirty. They're killing their reporters and things like that. And they're saying, oh, well, we're going to investigate it. They ain't investigating nothing. Okay. So these people are wicked, man. And it's showing in their works as Yah is lifting up their skirt and showing the entire world really how these people is. Now, let's keep moving, right? Now, this right here, we're going to take a clip from Breaking Points. It's crazy how, if you guys notice what I've been doing here on this channel, you notice that I've been showing all these different news networks, because if we independently bring something, then they strike the channel, they do all of this stuff, but then they have these news channels that can put all of this stuff out here. They don't mess with these channels, okay? So I just want you guys to just understand that, we got to go into these different news stations in order, because if it's just us, they're gonna hit us and do all this other stuff. So we have to show that we're gonna go to these news networks and we're gonna glean the information from them, and we're gonna give commentary on it. Okay, information that's already out there. Now this is also coming from Breaking Points news network. Okay, if you guys are not subscribed to their channel, this is another channel that is speaking on the talking points. And I also want you guys to understand, when I give you guys different sources where I'm getting information from, does not mean that all of their information is 100% correct. Okay. Different networks have different truths at different points, and this is what we glean from. Okay. Now, let's go.
Of, the military realities on the ground. There's also,
so just before we get into this, right, what she's getting ready to do is give us an update on the fake numbers that the IDF is fudging and want the people to believe, well, there's only been over 100 some deaths and all of this stuff with the IDF. It's way higher than that. Listen to what she's getting ready to say. And one of the main news organizations in modern day Israel, Houthis, did this investigation and exposed the lie coming from their Israeli counterparts or constituents, however you want to label. Okay, these are coming from Israeli outlets. They're the ones confirming this. Okay, now let's go.
So a lot of questions about what is actually unfolding. How is it actually going for Israel in terms of their ground offensive, in terms of their bombing campaign? We certainly know about the massive death numbers, the massive toll it's taken on the civilian population. But, how is it going for their own fighters? There were questions that began to emerge when this report was published and then altered. Put this up on the screen from.
So once again, do you hear what she just said? It was published and then it was altered. Okay. Now listen to what she's getting ready to break down here.
Ynet, they originally reported that 5,000 IDF soldiers had been injured. and then it was taken down and changed, presumably this person opines, by military censorship to 2,000.
So right here, family, okay? So there was a report that came out about how many people were injured and things of that nature, right? When the report came out, the IDF or whoever, basically, because it said presumably by military censorship, they altered that number and brought it down to 2,000, right? Okay, listen what she getting ready to say. Like, this stuff is deep, man. And this is the level that these people are going to in order to attempt to try to win a war that they have already lost. And the reason why they lost this war is because the day that they allowed Hamas to breach that wall, the sense of security in that land is over with. People never know when Hamas is going to breach those gates or any other Islamic resistance unit, as they call them, are going to enter into Israel and come on into that thing. You know what I'm saying? So listen to what she's saying here, man, because this is deep right here.
And so this raised questions. Okay, well, what is the real number? Haaretz decided to do an investigation to see how the purported IDF numbers match up with what hospitals in Israel are reporting in terms of the number of injured soldiers that they are taking in and that they are taking care of. Put this up on the screen. So Israel, first of all, was extremely...
Now, this was put out by Haaretz, and you guys can go to their Twitter account on X, and you will be able to pull this up and basically, you know, verify all of these things out, right?
Extremely cagey. They did not want to release numbers at all. Then under pressure, they stated that 1,593 soldiers had been wounded since October 7th. However, when Haaretz actually went to the hospitals,
now this is where it get good.
The results of their investigation showed a considerable and unexplained gap between the data reported by the military and that from the hospitals. As of Sunday, the number of fallen soldiers in the war that Israel had dubbed Swords of Iron stands at 425, 97 of whom have been killed since the launch of the ground operation. An examination conducted by Haaretz with the hospitals where the wounded soldiers have been and are treated shows a considerable gap. They found that the hospitals...
Now, family, listen what they're getting ready to say about this gap that they're talking about, right? Listen to this.
Data shows the number of wounded soldiers to be twice as high as the Army's numbers.
They saying that it's twice as high as that number. See, they don't want to give Hamas the credit of, because remember when I one of the videos I did, I explained to you guys how I guess he's the Hamas spokesman, Abdullah, if I'm saying that correctly. I stand to be corrected. But the military guy that speaks on it, when he said that the number is higher than what they're stating, he was not lying. And they did the investigation and say that the number is twice as high. Listen to what they say. Now, they got 1,500 soldiers have been wounded since October 7th. Watch what they're getting ready to say about just one hospital that they did this count on. Listen to this.
For one example, one single hospital alone reported treating more soldiers, close to 2,000 soldiers who were hurt in the war since October 7th. That is more than the total number that the Army reports have been injured. So one hospital is saying, we treated almost 2,000 injured soldiers. And the Israeli Army is saying only 1,500 have been wounded. And again, that's just...
Family, do you see how these people are lying and trying to fudge the numbers? They treated over 2,000 wounded soldiers in just one hospital. That's just one hospital. You guys have to understand that those hospitals over there in modern day Israel is flooded with injured IDF soldiers. Hamas is tearing these people up. What you guys got to understand, right? Okay, is that and I want to, okay, Nick 1, right? Let's get this up here on the screen, right? He says that they're hiring mercenaries to fight also, and then he also goes on to say, why would Hamas lie? Okay, now let's address both of these, right? You're absolutely right. You guys got to understand that these Islamic countries, and even though we don't follow Islam over here, we know that Islam is a fake religion. Okay, it's basically created by the same people. Okay, you guys got to understand that modern day Turkey used to be Constantinople. Constantinopolis is where Constantine moved the Roman Empire capital after a certain period of time, once he basically took over power in modern day Rome. And that area would then become an Islamic Republic, because you got to understand that the things that they were worshiping is the same thing that they're worshiping today. And it's the same worship that happened back in the ancient days when you go back into the book of Jeremiah, and it speaks about how they were bowing down and praying to the east. Okay, so there's nothing new about this worship. It's just refashioning it. Okay, but at any rate, those Muslims are more honest than the Zionist regime that's in power over there. They're bona fide liars. They have been caught lying. Just like they said there was a big military command system center up under Al-Shifa Hospital. They have yet to prove that. The other thing is that you guys got to understand is that they were already in Gaza before Hamas took over. So a lot of these tunnels that they're seeing is active in Gaza. They already know about it, because the one guy came out, and I forget his name. Somebody could drop the name in the comment section if they know and understand what's going on. He was a Israeli guy that said that they were the one that built the tunnels way back when they first erected the hospitals and did all of this stuff. So they know that there's underground tunnels, because the Israelis were creating these bunkers anyway in order to help fend off, if they received any type of hits, you know what I'm saying, from any of the surrounding neighbors during the times that they went into went into that land of Palestine back in 1948. So, family, these people are lying. They said the numbers almost twice over that. So if they're treated over 2,000 some people in one hospital, then that's not including all the other hospitals that's taking place. So these people are lying about the numbers, and Hamas is turning that place into a bloodbath down there. They said that they would turn it into a graveyard, IDF soldiers, and that's exactly what they're doing. Okay, they're not playing around down there, right? Now, as of today, right? Okay, now let's just jump over here to this, right? Let's just keep on ticking, right? This right here, okay, just came out this morning. Okay, it just came out this morning, and it's speaking about how Hezbollah attacked 10 sites just today in Israel. The Israelis have tried to put forth some type of peace treaty with Hezbollah because they're kicking their ass up north. Okay, we just got to call it how it is. They are becoming a problem up there, and they're hitting targets in northern Israel, and they're not ready for that. Okay, the Israelis are in a problem that the only way out of is going to be death, because Benjamin backtrack, okay? Benjamin backtrack, okay? Because he's known to backtrack. We're not doing this, we're not doing that. Oh, yes, you are. Whatever the landlords, the United States tell them to do, they got to do it, okay? They're backtracking, okay? So now let's get into this report, right? That just broke of what Hezbollah is doing up there in the north, right? Okay, so they're getting ready to go through some of these attacks, right? So, well, this was yesterday, right? The 17th, okay? 8:30 a.m., right? Hezbollah 10 attacks in one day on Israel. A truck was Israeli troops hit at Barak Rishi site, right? So they hit a truck with Israeli soldiers, tapped them. Boom. 8:30 yesterday morning, right? Okay. Let's keep moving here. The second attack at 9 a.m., right? So 30 minutes later, right? Israeli military team targeted near Hanida site, right? So listen, look how they doing it. So you went from 8:30 to 9. Okay. Now, 9:50, they hit 4 Israeli soldiers seen entering post east of Sasa, right? Tearing them up, picking them off, right? Then listen, 10:30 a.m., right? Targeted a group of Israeli soldiers in a Dar forest, right? 1:30 p.m., direct hit on Israeli Ja'alam site, right? Listen, non-stop hits. A hit an Israeli army crane installing spy equipment down Dovi Farms. So they're trying to they're trying to install spy equipment, right? Hezbollah, they sitting up here, they watch them like, man, okay, here they go up here. They trying to, hey, man, go and get them out the way. Okay. Strike. Boom. Okay. Then listen, at 250, listen, back to back, letting them know, like, listen, man, we not just finna fire some and then that's it. Y'all come strike. Listen, consistent strikes back to back, right? They amping up the pressure on them. Okay. Attack 7, 2:50 p.m. Targeted Al Rahib Israeli military site, right? They're hitting military targets. Hezbollah, listen, the three people we got to keep an eye on. Forget everybody else. They capping. Hezbollah is standing on business. Hamas is standing on business. And the Houthis down there in Yemen, and we getting ready to get to them in a minute, is standing on business. Okay. Check it out, right? And one of the things that you guys got to understand is that the Israelis is feeling this. This is why they try to do some little peace treaty with Hezbollah. They say, nah, as long as y'all down there in Gaza fumbling around, it's a no-go. The Houthis let them know, listen, as long as y'all down there in Gaza messing around, it's a no-go. It's on and cracking. Bring y'all military personnel out here and let's get to it. I mean, these boys ain't playing out here, man. And these are the only thing. This is the only thing that the handlers over here in the West understand. Okay, now 255 hit Israeli new command headquarters near Eve Menakim, and I'm not saying this stuff correctly, but hey, I stand to be correct. Settlement. So look, a new command center headquarters. They took it out of there. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Targeted Israeli Avin barricades cause confirmed casualties. Okay. Then they hit Israeli soldier military vehicles near Honan village. So family, yesterday in just one day, Hezbollah kicked up so much dust, man, it wasn't even crazy, man, hitting all, and these are all military targets. These are not innocent people, you know what I'm saying, that they're hitting military targets. The Israelis cannot hit military targets. So what they do, they go kill the civilian people, man. It's crazy, man, how they playing. You know what I'm saying? And to get back to what Nick once said about mercenaries fighting, the Iranians have already confirmed that the United States is helping these people. See, what you guys got to understand what's going on around the world today is that the United States have these small infantry units, these proxy, they fighting proxy wars in all of these different places. Just like you see what's going on in the Middle East, where they're saying that the Iranian has all these proxies in all these different places. Well, the United States is doing the same thing. They got busted out here in this Ukraine war. The Russians came out just a few days ago, right, and said that they caught NATO fighting in the war over there. I believe it was just a day or two ago. They just spoke about how they targeted Zelensky and they had to evacuate him out of Ukraine and he fled to Germany. These are the reports that's breaking today or yesterday as I'm speaking, right? They said he had to be evacuated out of Ukraine. Now think about this. When the soldiers here is hearing this stuff, you think these people want to still keep fighting for Ukraine when they know that the boss, the head guy, the captain of the ship, then got up out of here? He didn't got up out the jam. They had to get him to, because listen, they saying that they targeted a bunker in which he was hiding in, and he had to get up out that jam. And I heard they had to evacuate him out to Germany. The other thing is that Putin, the Russians say that they hit a bunker where NATO was, they basically involved in this stuff that's going on. They're already fighting in these wars. So basically they have these proxies that's in these areas, and they're basically the battery in the back of all these different nations that's out here fighting. They're not going to never come out and say, well, the United States is fighting in this war. They have the proxies that's working in conjunction with the militaries or whatever that country is, and they're fighting these wars. So basically, this is why Putin is strutting his stuff with his chest, because he's going against NATO. He's going against NATO. I'm going against all y'all, the United States. Y'all sending y'all stuff out there. I'm shutting it down. NATO, y'all, Germany, all these different places. Y'all sending y'all stuff out here. I'm shutting it down. Y'all ain't talking about none. This is what Putin telling them. So now the United States is saying, if y'all do not give us the funding for Ukraine, then United States boots are going to be on the ground, which they're already on the ground, meaning that your sons and your daughters are going to be over here fighting this war if we do not give them this money. So all this money that we work hard for is going over here to fight a war that we have nothing to do with. Okay. And a lot of people are talking about how we're in a recession. The recession we are. But I've slowed down on the recession talks because this is the thing I want you guys to understand. We are in a recession, but as long as the United States military is strong, you're not going to have to worry about no recession because they can just fuzz the numbers and say, oh, well, we're doing a good job and this and that because the military is still squeezing all of these other different countries. Okay. So they don't have a problem with, saying, oh, well, the United States is doing good because they're in control right now. When the United States military fall, then everything else is going to fall. Okay. And they're going to do the same thing that the Romans did, stretch themselves out, and they're not going to be able to fight all these wars, and they're going to keep losing territory. Family. Let's get to this, and I'm gonna close this out. I don't want to be too long-winded, but I want to get over here to the Houthis just to show you guys what's going on. Okay. So let me zero in here. Okay. So basically, as I have showed you guys before, right? The Houthi is down here in Yemen, right? They control this corner down here, right? You got the Red Sea that comes into the Gulf of Aden. They're controlling all of this area right here, right? Okay. Let's do this real quick. So once again, if you guys see what's going on, the Houthis is down here in Yemen, right? And this is basically in the back of Saudi Arabia. Okay. So they're running into problems because the Suez Canal up here, okay, is a man-made canal that they have created. And I want to show you guys this, right? And the purpose of this is so that they can just cross and get all the way up into Europe without having to go all the way around. Okay. So the problem up here and down here in the Red Sea is causing travel to come, anything that has to get into, like, say, India, up around this area, China and things like that, or vice versa. They just they take the shortcut through the Suez Canal, which is a man-made canal that the Europeans created. So with the Houthis keeping up smoke down here, what they saying is, we know that this is y'all major trade route where y'all taking all the stolen goods and all the stuff that y'all hijacking from the Middle East, and y'all just cruising up through here and back and forth because it's a shortcut. So with them keeping up all this stuff up down here, they can't move any product through here. So they're steady attacking these ships. They just recently targeted a ship, one of the main shipping companies that move a lot of stuff through here, just said, listen, we're not going through here unless the stuff is insured by some type of basically military escort. So the United States and all of these different countries are bringing in their nuclear submarines, their battleships and things like that, and put them in the region. But the Houthis is saying, we don't care nothing about that. They just I believe it was yesterday, had to shoot down like 16 some drones that they're flying at them. Okay. So what you guys got to understand is that it's ugly in the world today. As we're sitting over here being entertained by all this stuff that's going on, man, it is a nightmare around the world right now. The pirates are out. Anything that's moving through there, they taking that stuff. Okay. They can't even bring the UN trucks into Gaza. The people are ramaging, going through there, getting that stuff out of there as soon as it lands because of the humanitarian crisis that's going on in the land. And we have to cover this and keep an eye on it. Why? Because these Europeans over here that's got all of this madness created. And remember, Deuteronomy 28 tells us that Yah has instructed us that these people will be a vicious opponent, and the vicious opponent and enemy and foe they are. Everywhere these Europeans go around the world, they keep up dust. It's always the same stuff. They're racist toward the Palestinians. They were racist against the blacks here in the United States. They're racist against the blacks in South Africa. Everywhere they go, they use racism as a mechanism because they know that if they ever put down that defense and they do not racially target people, they will be assimilated in the community in these different countries because they are a minority in the world. They're minorities. Any country they go into, they're going to be swallowed up without these barriers of racism. And I would go on to say here in the United States, there's more blacks here in this nation than it is Europeans. When you get done adding all these numbers, they try to separate everything, but then they take everybody's numbers and add it into their numbers to make it seem like they're big and keep them propped up when they know that they're a minority here in the United States. Okay. And if we actually did a real census, if I had to bet my life on it and I'm a bad man, I would say that it would show that they're a minority even here in the United States. Okay. Because we populate too fast. Okay. So family, this is pretty much your update for the day. I just came on here live. I didn't feel like doing any editing today. If you guys want me to do these lives, y'all know, let me know what's going on. Shout out to everybody that's checking in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link in the description box. If anybody want to come in, weigh in, speak on the situation, add anything. Okay. Okay, so right there, I just dropped the link in the comment section in the chat. Okay, all you got to do is copy that link and paste it into your browser. It should bring you into the queue, and I'll bring you in if you guys want to speak on the subject. It's 12:14 Central Time. I'll go another few minutes if anybody want to jump on, speak on anything. I'm gonna go through some of the comments on here. Okay, as Daniel said, yes, Islam was created by the Roman Catholic. Exactly. I'm finna listen, family. We getting ready to turn it up here on Israelite Talk TV. I'm getting ready to break and bust this thing down and walk y'all down through history and really show y'all how the Romans created Christianity and Islam. Okay, both of them was created by the Europeans in order to basically keep the people in bondage. On either end, whichever side they decided to go to. Okay. This is why if you look into the Middle East right now, the Quran, now all of these people read the Quran, they believe in the Quran, and you know how Muhammad was the last messenger, and it speaks about this big war between the Christians and Islam, right? And the Muslims. But yet, for some reason, the Muslims in the Middle East, they don't want to pull the trigger. Saudi Arabia out here playing, Jordan out here playing, um, uh, 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 the Palestinians over there in the West Bank, they're playing. Okay. President what's his name? Abbas, he over there playing. He's a paid puppet. You know what I'm saying? They over there tearing the West Bank up. He ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? They haven't assembled any type of military, did anything in that West Bank. They playing games out there. You know what I mean? Iran, it's hard to tell with these people, man. Iran has issued a lot of threats, and it's just, you never know. You know, Iran may say, okay, y'all don't want to stand it, don't want to stand in us, because they know that the United States is in bed with a lot of these people. Jordan, Saudi Arabia, they got troops in all these different places, even Iraq. They probably just saying, you know what, we gonna help, but we're just gonna do it in the background. We're just gonna say it's the proxies, just like the United States and NATO is doing. Okay. Boss Queen says we are tired of Caucasian people. Okay. Well, I have to agree with that, right? And let me say this, right? And this is not, I don't want people to take this the wrong way. Okay. There are Europeans, okay, here in America that are not on the BS. But what you guys got to understand, and I've spoken about this countless and countless times, you have two different types of Europeans here in this nation. The people that control the pocketbook, these are the people that sit at the top that control the laws and do all of this stuff. These people are racist and they are pushing these agendas. The people at the bottom, they don't care nothing about them. It's just like today in modern day Israel, the people in that land that's not really with the BS, that's like, listen, man, we know that y'all impressing these Palestinian people, and we know what's going on here. We not with it. Let's just leave them alone and let's just try to live in peace. Those are the people at the bottom. The people that sit at the top that's making the decisions are not following that. They just killed they just killed 3 IDF soldiers, they try to butter it up and say, whoa, well, this has happened. What Benjamin Netanyahu say, hey, I'm sorry, it breaks my heart, but we're going to continue our campaign. Basically saying, we know those soldiers got killed, but we don't care nothing about that. We're going to keep fighting. And we don't matter how many people we kill, how many innocent soldiers we lose, how many people we lose. We're going to fight this war until it's over and popping, just over with, man. And it's just sad, man, when you think about the dust that these people are kicking up around the world. They talk about democracy. They talk about all of this stuff, but they don't follow none of this stuff at all. Okay. Ox Warrior said that he was advised to check the 1611 Bible. We listen, man. Next year we're getting ready to turn this thing up, right? Because the thing that ones must understand is that what's going on is that the New Testament is fake. Islam is fake. Okay. Nobody has died for anybody's sins or doing anything of that nature. That's the easy way. All of these Israelite groups that's in that New Testament. I'm coming for y'all 2024. I'm on y'all top because these Israelite camps is what's got the confusion going on here in this nation, because they teach a faulty doctrine, and it's a doctrine that these leaders that's over these different Hebrew Israelite sects have got from REI, or they teachers up in New York when they all came out of this Israelite school of practical knowledge, where a lot of these people that's over these Israelite camps came out of. Okay, and they teach a false doctrine. Okay. Nobody has died for anybody's sins. What's going on in the earth is what Tanakh brings out, the great day of Yahuwah, where it tells us that when you go in the book of Jeremiah, the slain of Yahuwah, and that day is going to be from one end of the globe to the other end of the globe. There's people dead all over there in Ukraine in the war that's going on, the Middle East, and then you have all these other fronts that's heating up. Okay, like family, it's going down. This stuff is for real. And it has nothing to do with whether or not these people receive Jesus or whatever name that they call it on. Okay. This is the payback that Tanakh teaches about, and it has nothing to do with any Jesus or anything like that that's coming. We're gonna be getting on that real soon. Okay. But I just want to clarify that about these Europeans, these people that sit in power. These are the people that's are the problems. It's not so much as the people that's at the bottom of the totem pole, because they understand what's going on and they grasp. Okay. They cannot fight a multi-front conflict. Well, yeah, that's the problem. So the thing to understand about that is that when they brought out that they called up over 300,000 some reserves, you have to understand that that nation of Israel is going under, because what ones must understand is that as long as this war is going on, all of these soldiers and people are not working. So they are having to tend to this war, and it's causing the economy in modern day Israel to tank. Nobody is making money. None of this stuff is going on because they can't stay open long enough to get anything done because of the attacks that's coming from all angles. So it's not only are they losing this war on the battlefield, but the economy is losing. Okay. So with that being said, family, this is going to be the update for the day. If you guys want me to start going live more on here, speaking on this, where you guys could chime in, come on, or anybody want to weigh in, let me know. Leave those comments down in the comment section. Make sure you guys like the video, hit the like button. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow around the same time with another update. So y'all stay safe out here. And I'm signing off here on Israelite Talk TV. Shalom.